Welcome back folks, for another quick leak video about the New Year's gift from Wargaming. So the Pz.II Ausf.D is being circling around on the super test server, and this is very likely a candidate for the New Year's gift from Wargaming. So like last year, the Mark 6C or VIC light tank from the British was given out during New Year's time. So this tank was given for free during New Year's, so it's a premium tier 2 light tank with a little machine gun. So the Pz.II Ausf.D is very like that tank, so this is very likely to be a New Year's gift from Wargaming. So yeah, it's a premium tier 2 tank for the funsies, so collector's value I guess. But here's the in-game models for this tank, so it's very like the Pz.II they get a tier 2 from the Germans. So yeah, it's a tier 2 tank, what do you expect? It's free, so it's like this thing, so it's a little tank. But Pz.IIs were mostly used before the introduction of Pz.III and Pz.IV obviously. But later in the war, they got converted into the Wesepi artillery as well as the Marder II, so yeah, it's alright. But it's a pretty small tank. But here are the in-game models. So yeah, it's a small tank obviously, so it's a fun tank, but alright. Now here are the quick stats for the Pz.II-D. It has only 210 health, so one machine gun burst from a T7 car and you're dead, so be careful. It weighs 11 tons, so it's paperweight. Don't ram stuff other than other paperweights, but still, 11 tons is still pretty light. Alright. 140 horsepower engine, giving a crappy horsepower per ton ratio of 12.7, so this tank is not fast at all. So yeah, alright, that's kind of crappy power to weight ratio, really slow. Because light tanks or generally any low tier tanks have about 20 horsepower per ton ratio, so this is a pretty slow of a tank in my opinion. Maximum top speed is 55 kilometers per hour forwards, which is alright. So if you let the engine rev up, it does go fast, but that will take time. Reverse is 20 kilometers per hour, so alright. Terrain resistance is 0.86 for hard, 1.1 for medium, 2.0 for soft. So this thing does slosh around in swamp a lot, so this thing is not as maneuverable as you want it to be. So it's more of a heavy, it's like heavy medium type of terrain resistance, so terrain resistance is kind of bad. Alright, hull traverse is 45 degrees per second, which is okay. View range is 320 meters, which is okay for tier 2 in my opinion. Very good for tier 2. Radial range is 360, so that's alright for a tier 2, but alright. Hull armor is 30 millimeters at the front, 14.5 at the sides, and probably 14.5 at the rear. Turret is 14.5 all the way around likely. So your frontal hull armor will bounce a few machine gun shots, but not the T18 Stirp gun. So you do not have armor mostly, but it does. If you angle the front of your hull, machine guns will not go through mostly. So that's pretty much it. That's the pretty much armor you have. Now the gun is very interesting. It's a 20mm autocannon, obviously. It does 23 millimeters of penetration, 11 damage per shot. It has 10 rounds in the auto-loading clip, so it's a machine gun, obviously, autocannon. But it fires pretty quick, obviously, 0.2 seconds between shots, so it's a machine gun, obviously. But the reload time is very interesting. It reloads every 3 seconds for the 10 rounds. That's pretty amazing in comparison to the T7 car. Now the T7 car has 10 rounds in the autoloader as well, but that thing reloads every 25 seconds. So this thing reloads every 3 seconds. That's pretty crazy. Now the penetration is not good, obviously, 23 millimeters, but I don't know if you can use premium ammo with this tank, but if you're firing premium ammo and reloads every 3 seconds, basically you become a machine gun. You become an anti-aircraft tank, anti-aircraft vehicle. So yeah, the 3-second reload is pretty quick for a 10 round magazine clip. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, it doesn't do a lot of damage obviously, but this thing does pump out shots. So alright, Rate of fire is 124 rounds per minute, so that's a machine gun, obviously, autocannon. Accuracy is bad, 0.5, but it's a machine gun, so you just spray bullets. 1.4 second aim time is pretty low, obviously. It's a machine gun, what do you expect? Gun depression, however, is very good. 10 degrees of gun depression, and 44 degrees of turret traverse. So, based on these stats, this is better at reloading than the T7 car, because the T7 car takes about 25 seconds to reload. And let's look at the T7 car. Let's see. I already have this thing, and this was the golden joystick free tank for last August, I think, or September. But this tank takes about 25 seconds to reload. It has 10 rounds in the shells. Okay, it has 50 shells. Alright, it has 10 shells in the magazine. Each shell, quote unquote, has 5 rounds in it. So it fires 50 rounds. Okay, I don't know how much clip does the Pz.II have, but this tank takes a long time to reload, whereas this tank takes only 3 seconds. So it might be firing 1 shell per 0.2 seconds, but that's still pretty quick to reload, in my opinion. So it's still an auto-loading like cannon. It still reminds me of an anti-aircraft gun. But yeah, it takes less time to reload than the T7 car, as well as the VIC. So the light VIC was a New Year's reward, and this tank takes about 20 seconds to reload. So yeah, it reloads way faster, way faster than those two tanks. But penetration is about 5 millimeters less, so you might not be able to penetrate even if you're firing a lot. So this tank was designed to kill people or aircraft mostly, but yeah, you cannot penetrate. I don't think you can penetrate tier 1s, so oh god. Okay, let's look at tier 1s. I'm interested. I'm very interested how crappy tier 1 tanks are. Let's see how much frontal armor you have. 14 millimeters. Okay, so it has 14. So you can easily penetrate the crappy frontal tanks of the LOL tractor. And that's pretty much it. Oh man. Oh yeah, you can penetrate a LOL tractor. Let's look at other tanks at tier 1. How about the T1 Cunningham? Let's look at the armor for the T1 Cunningham. Whoops. Yep, you can penetrate this thing easily. 10 millimeters at the front. You can easily machine gun through it. So, alright. Yeah, anything else? The Renault FT. Let's look at that thing. That's French design. It has a lot of armor. Alright, it has 19 millimeters at the front and 22 millimeters at the turret. So you might not be able to penetrate the turret of this thing, but you can easily penetrate the front, hopefully. So yeah, the most things you can penetrate are tier 1s. So it's gonna suck. But yeah, it does fire pretty fast. 3-second reload for a 10-round clip, and each clip fires at 0.2 seconds. So it's mostly likely a chain gun, so you can easily fire this thing all the time if you want to. But it's a fun little tank. It's a free tank to train your Panzer 1C crews or something like that. But 3-second reload. That's the only thing I noticed about this tank is the reload time with the auto-loading clip. But 3 seconds is pretty goddamn quick. But it's a pretty fun New Year's gift. Nonetheless, it's free. What do you want? So make sure you have a World Tanks account before New Year's, and you can get this tank for free. But yeah, pretty fun tank, mostly, hopefully. But that was a fast video, and I do not want to talk about the history of the Pz.II, obviously. But the tank was used mostly before the middle of the war. So during the initial invasion of France and Belgium, they were using this tank. So it's a pretty fast tank for the Blitzkrieg. Now, after introduction of the Panzer III and Panzer IVs, and later the Tiger and Panther tanks, this tank was converted into the Wasepi artillery and the Marder II, or used as reconnaissance vehicle, so scouting vehicle. But alright, it's a fun little tank. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, but that was quick. So it's a fun little New Year's gift, I guess. But it has way better reload than the T7 car. Just sit there for 25 seconds like the T69. Alright, but thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll have more leak info videos coming soon, but this week has been very hectic because I don't have internet for like 3 days of this week. So That's gotta suck. But I should have the 9.3 mod video up soon, as well as a bunch of informations clump into a single video for tomorrow for my Weekend with Sam video. But fun video, yeah, small fun tank, short and sweet, I guess. But thank you guys for watching, and rate, comment, subscribe, and that'll help me out a lot. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.